Michelle Holloway.
Here.
William Millhop. Robert Radley.
Oh.
Carlos DeBrey Jr.
Here.
Dale Marshall.
Here.
Wayne Frederick.
All day.
Emily Boyd Zandra.
Huh?
Alvin Bearhill Sr. Sherry Wright Plank. Lila Hilliard. Cobalt Singing.
Here.
William Kindle. And Blackburn III.
Oh.
Marion Little Thunder.
Here. 15. Royal, do you want to start our invocation first?
Administration
Council, yesterday when we recessed, we had a couple of motions on the floor. The motioner isn't here, so when she gets here, she's running late. We'll go back to those two. In the meantime, we'll start on the election process for our at-large. Yes, Ben.
Good morning, Council, morning, administration. I had a committee meeting last night, and I kind of gave them an update on everything, and they were wondering if, we're giving admin leave for the parade this afternoon, if you would give admin leave for the Carlisle Indian, bring back a relative that's going to come in. Is that possible? Or?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up. I'm just waiting for them to confirm. Chris, have you heard any more about what time they're coming through?
Actually,
I was told 3, then I was told 4, then I was told 5.
Actually, yeah, I'm currently the 5th member for Pine Ridge. He shared his location with me, so he doesn't have to text all the time. And right now, they just left Sioux City, Iowa, so they'll be arriving in Vermilion in about 1 hour. And then I don't know what they're gonna do in Vermilion, but give or take, roughly 4 hours is the distance between here and Vermilion. So 4 hours after they leave Vermilion. But I want to say around, what time is it? 10, 1, 2, probably about 2, 3 o'clock.
2 or 3 o'clock.
They'll be pulling through.
And then are they still going to stop at Sinte?
Our plan is to have one of our whoever's gonna help with our procession, whether it be LES or if it's just gonna be Tocala, we're gonna meet them at Carter and bring them towards SGU. But I don't know if they're gonna want to stay too long because that's a long journey from Pennsylvania to home. So all I know is that we'll probably be able to have at least up to 45 minutes to an hour at the most. We want to give them a good meal, even if we have to make it to go, a prayer and a song, and then set them on the journey. And then some of us kids, we're going to join the procession back to Pine Ridge too to help them out. But we were going to escort them from SGU all the way to the reservation boundaries, if not further, towards Mount Martin, because that's where they're gonna meet up too. Most of their people are gonna meet them in Martin and then continue to Pine Ridge to the funeral home.
Okay, law enforcement will do the escort?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Bob this morning.
Okay, so then we'll meet with Bob at Carter and we'll wait for them to show up and then we'll
they'll
escort them to
all the way to
SGU.
the Pine Ridge.
Yeah, from SGU then to Pine Ridge, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Martin.
So, in response to your question, Ben, I'll grant it, I'll do a notice, but the offices will remain open, so I'm sure not everyone is going to join. And I'm trying to defer from giving everybody leave for something, administrative leave for something, when they're not all participating. And I don't want to be closing programs because other people still want to do business that aren't involved in whatever activity or event is going on. So I'll get that out here in a little bit.
Okay, yeah, it was just brought up at a committee meeting last night, so I just figured I'd mention it and see what we do, but, all right, yeah, thank you.
Okay. Tina, can you give me a pen? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else with it?
So we'll start with the Land and Natural Resources Committee.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, as soon as Brianne gets in here, do you need some more? Yeah.
She's bringing something. Okay.
Okay. So on there, we have 12 applicants.
13.
Oh, 13, sorry. Am I reading glasses? Put my glasses on it. Go get them. And so out of those 13, we need to select 3. So Nicole, do they do an actual application giving their experience, so why they would want to sit on these committees? Is that something that we make copies for the council? Council, I have a question for you. In the past, council has gone off from the list that you're giving to make that selection for the at-large members. However, they do fill out an application. The applications have never been shared with the council. Is it your desire to see these applications before you make your decisions?
Do they write their reasons in there why they're applying? Or what their interest?
Yeah, it's a brief biography.
You guys want to see those? Okay. Okay. Have them do that one. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can ask you. Like I said, when I first started.
We can take like less than 5 minutes to get these first ones. Council will take a 5-minute break while we're waiting. She's gonna make a copy of that first packet
Powerful.
so we can get it out to you.
It wasn't the wind that we did. Yeah.
Even with the thing.
Lila and Sherry, we're gonna be doing the at-large, but usually when we're doing the at-large, they just give us this list with the names, but we're going to actually look at the applications that they submit for their information, why they are desiring to be on these committees, and a little biography on them. So she's got them making copies, so we'll take a little break, even though we just started. Before we start the at-large? Yes, okay. We'll bring IHS on.
Yeah. I think we're doing Monday Natural first, aren't we?
They didn't have the packets out first, so she was starting with the next one, but then they got the packets out, so
Oh.
that's what she was starting with.
Good morning. Somebody left me your glasses? All right, thank you, Madam Chair, for inviting me back again today. I appreciate it. It's nice to meet everybody again, and see some new faces. Apologize, yesterday I was here for the morning and then had to do the afternoon, so I apologize for that.
Other than that.
But if you don't know me, my name is Dr. Marlene Wakefield.
First
I am an enrolled member of the Seneca Nation, so I'm not actually from South Dakota. Despite what, there's some rumors out there, but unfortunately I'm not. So I'm from the Seneca Nation. I've been with IHS a little over 4 years. Before that, I was in the private sector for over 20 years. So I've been a CEO at other places in the private sector and then also of a 638 facility. So I'm here, again, honored, thank you. I just want to, I'll share a brief report and then I will start including to get it to you all in time for next month so that you have it to review it. And today we do have our governing body meeting. So Joe Amiot and his team will be at the facility at 1 o'clock if anybody's available to come over. That would be excellent. Skylar did say she was going to, and she usually does attend all of them. So I thank her for that. I just want everybody to know we do have a full permanent C-suite. So that's myself, the deputy CEO, the chief nurse, the clinical director, the deputy clinical director, the quality manager, and then we do have an ED supervisor, but he is not part of C-suite, but he's a federal. We have recently hired 2 federal RNs in the ED, I think 1 or 2 MSAs, and then we are adding spots to the org chart because we are getting interest from ED doctors to come here. So we would like to obviously hire our own. So that's our goal. So we have added them to the ED org chart. I don't manage that ED contract. That is still part of the area contracts, and they have all in one contract is Rosebud, Pine Ridge, and Cheyenne River. So the area does manage that one. That one I do not. Outpatient, we are actually looking to increase our volume. We've been getting a lot of complaints lately about not being able to get in, and then our people not being able to get their hospital follow-up. So we are working on that, maybe putting people where women's health used to be, some more providers, so that we can get some more people through and take some of the pressure off the ED. Because the ED has had extremely high volume lately, a lot of flights in and out. A couple times last week, we saw 60 patients in that day. I think 67 was the highest in that one day. And that's a lot for a little ED like that. So going forward, like I said, I will have my report. I will, my whole team will be coming with me now that we're in lockstep. So at least the clinical director, the chief nurse, and the deputy will be coming with me going forward. But I just want to thank you for inviting me, and I'm happy to take questions.
Emily?
Thank you. Good morning. Good to see you.
Hi, Emily.
I just had a couple, just off of something you said about the no appointments type, stressing out the ER. So I've gotten, personally, but also so many complaints on that. Just we call at 7:30, we call at 8, we call at 8:02, we get through at 8:20, and they're all full. And it's happened so much that I'm just wondering, like, do we have any providers? Do we just have one provider? Like, it used to be, okay, that's for the adults, but at least we had peds, but now I'm getting complaints on both sides. And so like, what is the actual issue right now for that part?
It's capacity. So we do have 10 spots out there. We're usually running about 7 to 8 providers a day, but we just have that much need. And I share your frustration. I have handled 2 of those patient grievances lately of people. I had somebody that was standing in line while on the phone to try to get in. So I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So we just had a meeting about that, and we're going to have one of the nurses start managing the wait list so that it's fair and consistent. And then we've changed the shift of, we're going to change the shift with some of the patient reg folks so that, that they're there and that the window's open.
So we do have providers, because I think about 5 weeks in a row that we were getting saying, there's just no providers today, call back tomorrow, no providers today, call back tomorrow.
No, we do.
Okay, and so the second follow-up question I have is, I've been getting complaints, well, one of the complaints I've been getting regularly has to do with the kind of discommunication between the referral and the PRC process with the actual, what the doctors are saying. And so many people will say, for example, you might have cancer or some kind of chronic illness that requires follow-ups and scans and things like that. And so they might have the telehealth or whoever they're seeing remotely or not. And they'll say, okay, come back and see us in 3 months, or I need to see you in 6 months, but within that time, you need to have X, Y, and Z done. But because there's like apparently a time cap on how long those referrals can last, then they're not being approved. So then people are having, I guess I'm just wondering what can be done up there to address that, because in my opinion, the doctor should have the say. And if the doctor is saying this needs to be done within 4 weeks, why are we only limiting those referrals to whatever it's being limited to? I'm not sure.
Right. So a standard referral would max out at 90 days. So there has been some of that confusion, but like dialysis, we don't expect people on dialysis to call every 90 days. We do them for a year at a time, or same for those that are getting active oncology or cancer treatment. So what we've done is we have an RN case manager now that comes to PRC, and then the doctors are now referring directly to that nurse case manager, and then they're working together, and they'll just tell PRC this is when their appointment is. This just started probably 10 days ago because we were noticing that. We don't want anybody to fall through the cracks.
I got about 3 calls on that. So do I just have them refer them to the nurse or to the, who would they make sure? Because what happened is the nurse? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because the people in PRC, they're not nurses.
Okay.
So they should always go back to the nurse, and that's what we stress, Callie and I stress that they need to be answering their phones in the hallways, and they need to be calling patients back, and that care coordination is part of the PCMH model, which is what Rosebud is. But we need more people. So that's why I'm beefing up the support system of the providers. But you're absolutely right. PRC, there has been a lot of change. Headquarters changed how we pay out PRC. But they did a modified table. So the old priorities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. They changed it, and there's a special one for Rosebud and Pine Ridge because of the volume. But we're still able to really not engage in a lot of that preventative care that I've been kind of talking about. We're still mainly doing the traumas, cancer care, all that stuff.
So can that be communicated better? I know you mentioned like you have a governing body meeting. I didn't know we were invited to those. I'm on health board. Now that I know that, I will definitely be there more often. But is that something that we could start communicating better when there are changes like that so that we can get it out to the people?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I'm happy to go to the health board meeting. If you just tell me what it is, I'm happy to be there, so I can plan ahead. I like to attend these meetings myself. Worst case scenario, I'll send somebody, but I'm happy to go whatever. Just let me know ahead of time. I just don't want to be like inviting myself to stuff.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Marlene.
Morning.
Juan, and I'm the animal representative. You say that you have 7 providers per day. That's not every day that you have them.
No, no.
There are times that people call in and you only have 1 or 2 providers. So when you only have 1 or 2 providers, that means you're able to see less of our people. So you need to be able to find that balance there, because you do not have 7 providers a day. So there needs to be a solution there. because we're in flu season right now.
Mhm.
And COVID is very high right now. So how are you protecting not only the patients, but the staff, especially your staff who are dealing with the caseloads that are there?
Yes, thank
So are you
you.
mandating people to wear masks, or how are you doing this right now?
No, there's a employee health policy. So we treat COVID a little bit differently, and then there's flu. So everybody does get their flu shot every year, or unless they have a medical exception or a religious exception, they usually get it. And then if anybody has any kind of respiratory symptoms, they're supposed to mask up and wear their mask. But we do have a full-time employee health nurse that if an employee's sick, she works with them, gets them plugged in with what testing that they need, and then would work with their supervisor. Yeah, they have COVID or they have flu, then they need to go, or they don't have that, but they should still wear their mask to protect our immune suppressed folks in the community. And then masks are freely available. Anybody can wear a mask at any time, and some people do. In outpatient, they just never stop wearing them. So, but if we also pay attention to the volume. So if we have so many cases of admits and things, then we'll start wearing masks again, like we did last year.
Okay. And then you made a comment about you don't want to see people falling through the cracks, but they are. And right now you're giving us lip service because we don't have nothing in black and white. You know, and we can attend the meetings, but if you could give us a report so we have documentation of everything that you just said to us. Because anybody can come in here, regardless of whether you're a doctor or just a community member. You know, we want to see it in black and white because these are our people that you serve. They should be getting nothing but top care.
Lila.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I had been bringing this up for quite a while now, but I don't know what words that IHS's importance, you know. But for me, I've seen it happen, and I've helped at DR. With our language. I really feel it's important. Somehow we work something out with you guys. We need a translator up there, especially in ER. As during the day, I know we have some of our own enrolled members up there, the gals and guys who do help and, you know, help with them, the patients there. But I see a need for it in VR because, you know, sometimes our people, they don't want to be, when they're sick, you know, my mother was sick, and they don't speak the language. And they shouldn't have to be, you know, getting other people frustrated, you know, because they want to speak their language. And I witnessed that 2 times. And I did help. One was a dialysis patient. She was an elder. And after I talked to her, she really calmed down. And she understood what was going on. You know, she was agitated. But there's no need for that, to stress somebody out while they're stressed. That's really unnecessary. And that's not how we should take care of our people. So if we can come to some point and you can take that back to your team and work with us and our new administration, we can come to some term there to find somebody for that. It's vital. That's mental health. That's, you know, it's part of our well-being. Secondly, I've noticed that, you know, I don't know why or what the difference is, but I get a lot of people who tell me, you know, it's this time of year, you know, flu season, COVID season, you know, babies getting sick and all this. But why is it that even through our ER. Does ER have to hire their own cleaning people? They don't? Okay, because I think that needs to be backed up a little.
I agree.
Because I actually was there last night, how 11 o'clock. It bothered me. And there was a little baby born, you know, and so much was going on, I understand that. But for me, as a grandma, as a mom, as a relative, you know, we need to keep that place very sanitized, you know. And it was crowded, you know, there was a lot of people, but it's not always about the complaining, but those are just, they're small things, but they lead to the bigger thing. See, I lost my mom from COVID, and I panic. I really do, because if somebody's older and they catch it, you know, it affects them completely differently.
Yes.
Versus, you know, young people, they just, you know, get over it real fast. So I think, you know, if we can address that as well. So now onto the good things. I was told that I'm big on the mental health.
Yeah.
I screamed it. I screamed for mental health, and I will continue to do that. I was told we have a new person here. So that really made me feel good, because we need that place secure. We need counselors, so can you tell us about the mental health, behavioral health department and what we're looking at? And, you know, it's really important, because I always encourage people, you know, go over there, you know, talk to people. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, especially our young ones. So I was really, really enthusiastic about hearing about that. So those are the three things, you know, that I'm adding to your plate. So
No,
thank you.
Thank you, Lila. Just a quick update on the, our patient advocate now is not a fluent speaker, so we did add that position to the budget. So the new budget will come out in October, so then we can start working that after October 1st.
Okay.
Because I do agree with you, and you have mentioned it, so thank you, I did take that back. Housekeeping, the ED, you're absolutely correct. I have no excuse to offer on that. I just had a meeting with my team right before I came here and stressed the importance of housekeeping, because I get screenshots from Facebook, community members will text me, people will say, hey, it's disgusting in there. So we do take it serious, we do address it. Unfortunately, we're really down in the numbers, so if anybody is looking for a job, we do need housekeepers, because it is important. Nobody wants to go to a dirty ED. I completely agree with you. And then community members will call me in real time, or Callie, and we will get somebody down there and clean it, but we want to get to a point where it's just clean. So I completely agree with you. I will fall on my sword for that. No excuse, but I am trying my hardest to work on it. And thank you for bringing up behavioral health, because that actually has been pretty amazing. We have quadrupled our capacity. So we have 5 counselors that work through the Great Plains, so they're remote. We have 2 counselors that are in person here. They're, you know, so like my mom, she doesn't want to talk to a screen. She wants to talk to her counselor. So we're totally aware of that. Yeah. Then we have 1 social worker also now that's coming on. So that's 8. And then we have a psychiatrist to help manage some of our patients at the ED, but they'll come in actively psychotic, so we're trying to get them before they get there. And then we have 2 psych nurse practitioners coming. They're just onboarding now. And those, the difference with those is they can prescribe medication. So they can do your anxiety, depression med, your schizophrenia meds. 1, 2, yeah. But we actually have 3 spots. So we're up to 10 staff. One of the behavioral health people is going to be embedded right in that patient clinic, so that I don't want to lose anybody in the hallway, right? So if they say, and we're screening everybody gets screened for, you know, suicide thoughts. So we want to make sure that no one does get lost in that. So if they do, if they need TLC right then and there, then the behavioral health person, there'll be one in outpatient Monday through Friday. But we do have coverage. Oh, and sorry, I forgot this. We also hired a psychologist. She's dedicated only to the ED. So her sole task is everybody that gets flown out is she follows up with them individually and makes sure that if they want an appointment, she'll talk to them herself. She's been doing all the evals, but that's what we hired her for, is specifically the ED. So they have just quadrupled in size. So thank you for bringing that up.
That's great. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And Dr. Ironshell Hill and Sharice finally are getting some help, you know, 'cause they have been in the trenches. And I don't know if anybody remembers John. He retired and then unfortunately passed. So that was very sad. He did love the community. He was such a good resource, but we do have local people. But we've increased the volume because it's such an important part of it. And then yesterday I met with the Avera group, the CEOs. They're building a ginormous new psychiatric hospital in Sioux Falls. I think it'll be 170 some beds with 14 for kiddos 5 and under, and then I think 30 some for the adolescent age range. So we're trying to streamline it with them so that I can send the people up totally packaged, everything that is needed, and then they can just do the direct admit. So there's a lot happening in that realm.
Awesome.
Michelle?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming
Mhm.
and for the update. I have several questions, so I'll just go one at a time, I guess.
Okay.
I also want to make note that you did, just the same as Councilwoman Wong said, that you reported that you have up to 10 providers, and I've received notice that the max is 3 a day that you have. So the misinformation doesn't sit well with me. To come in here honest and be honest with our people on what you're providing for them. Why is the hospital requiring people to apply for Medicaid before they can use the PRC services? And why are they asking people what their income guidelines are before they refer them out?
Let me answer now.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a reasonable inquiry process. This is just something new because we have to stay within our PRC budget. And it's just a standard IHS policy. I don't know if it's chapter 6 or whatever, but they do ask questions. Anybody can say, I don't want to answer and just refuse, but
Then
that's,
they don't get the services if they don't answer.
no, they get the services. I
There's
can't
people
report
that
them.
haven't. I've received complaints from people that have been refused services.
I'd be happy to
They
look
refuse
into it.
referrals because they have, or they're over income according to what the hospitals has their guidance at. So that's leaving people with bills and collections because PRC is not paying them, they're not referring them out. And then the illnesses that they carry are getting worse than from the time that they went in there. That needs to be looked into. Our people should have better health care. Is there a pediatric dentist and pediatric vision at the hospital?
No,
Why is IHS reporting to the state that there is?
that I couldn't answer.
Why, can you look into that too?
Absolutely.
We have people that have to drive their babies to Rapid City to get dental care, to get their eyes checked. And when they file a reimbursement with the state, they're getting denied because IHS is reporting that they provide those services. So they can't even be refunded for these trips. So that needs to be taken care of too.
Agreed.
How many doctors are at IHS, not the Boston doctors? How many doctors do you have that are not contracted or not Boston doctors?
Permanent staff.
Yeah.
Let me write it down real quick.
Six total.
What types of doctors are they?
General practice, family medicine, we have one pediatrician, one internal medicine. And then another one is board certified in ED. And then, I can't remember what the other board certified, but basically it would be able to see family practice patients.
Has there been a directive made to refer out all the mental health diagnosed patients?
No.
I will look forward to your report when you come back next month with the answers to the questions that I asked, and, like everybody else, I'm looking forward to a written report as well.
Absolutely. Sorry.
Royal.
Yeah, Chateau wants to know that. Chief below, council and administration. Where were you from again?
Seneca from New York.
New York, Seneca. Oh, okay. I guess, again, I want to express that, I did a few, talks at, USD and, it was a law symposium. Rebecca Kidder, she's I think she used to work with a firm in Rapid, but I think she started her own firm, but she was doing a brief on the treaties. Again, those get topic, le treaty ki wogala kokta hanta, le kucheche agape. Back when I sat on a treaty council, it was watchdogs. Daku ichuam hanta. They watched over our trust responsibilities, and le wanji this is one of them. Rebecca Kidder, she talked about how the 51 and 68 were different from all other treaties ever made. Treaties on they talked about minerals, land, water, and all these other tribes. They had it in their treaties. But in our treaties, it was more of a peace treaty. And there's things that the federal government's supposed to tribe. So trust responsibilities, when BIA did his report, now IHS, these are all trust. Mayor looked hey, now. Even the allocations, I know this is may I have my own may check that work hey is me hey Isa kaka okuzite bekta give you he awaka pe tagni chuo kishnike hekta kya nija mithachi kta hekta kya woyek chaki Isa hecho cha miza hekta kya hecha swat. I kind of want to say that for me and hearing the issues with the hospital, and I have my own feelings towards IHS, and I know you have your higher ups, and being I never did sit on health board, but I'm on there now. But for me, I never believe in Western medicine, and I told you doctors that. Because we went up there a few times. I remember I was fever. I was at my work, and I said, "Well, I might as well go in and get some antibiotics." Same way with my daughter. So, long story short, they took tests and they said, "No, we can't give you antibiotics." So this is not an isolated case. I'm sure there's more people getting turned away, given Tylenol or things like this, but. What I told your doctors is, I said, we always been short on funding because our people never believed in the hospital. A person my age said, he said, "Man, I'm sick and I get health care." And he said, "I look at you," and he said, man, what do you do? What do you do to stay out of the hospital? So I said, you know, our people, we had our own way. And it wasn't, when we got sick, we knew what to do. We had our own way. We had our own medicine people. We have our own medicines that grow. So pharmaceuticals need sick people. Doctors need sick people in order to get their. So for me, Mayor Blukcha, all of this, when I was the director of the treaty office, I had forums. And I had people, you know, come in and, you know, they did forums and it was on land. I had TLE come in. I had Syed, different people, water, all, and then ITIS, Cinderella. So we all know, and we all can talk about trust, responsibility, and know. And now switch about that. So Mayor Blukcha, just what I said about that letter, the letter that I asked Madam Chair to, and I wanted the superintendent, and then, but a lot of this is always ongoing. I know, I know, one trip that when we went to DC, we were in Christy Noam's office, and they asked, it was Scott and I think Willie Bear and Yuri Proigo, Travis Johnson, legislative affairs, and at the time I think there was funding shortage, and but I remember Christy Noam, she was the House rep, so she said, I'll look into it. So one of the things she told was a lot of the senators in Congress, they invest in companies. And I seen a resolution yesterday from the health admin, and it was for AB staffing. So there was nothing that you're someone in your position and your higher ups, HHS, but it was all the way up to where these senators in Congress invest in these companies. So there was nothing you could do or HHS could do because they were ordered to use these companies in investment. So I know that a lot of this shortcomings in the Woyikja, our minds when we're sick. When we're sick, we want to go to the hospital. Oh, you look back 100 years. Oyate kitaku chuam. What did we do 100 years ago? Did we go to a hospital to help us? No, we had our own we had our own medicine. We had our own things. And pharmaceuticals, they use like aspirin's indigenous. Aspirin, that came from indigenous people. So I know for a fact that a lot of the medicines, I mean, Western medicine don't heal. I know I say, Todd, you got a transplant, but you just telling me you take a whole handful of pills. You know, the body attacks whatever foreign objects in there. So people, they think that Western medicine, the biology or chemistry set, studying the body and all this, but no, it don't heal. There's no, you cut something up, you cut someone open, pull something out, or all these procedures. But our people never had that. Our people had our own way of living, our own diet, our own things to help ourselves. So that after getting that, my daughter, they went up there too, and one was sick, throat hurt, and the other one was kind of worried to the top. Wake up here. So their diagnosis, they said, hey, all your tests are good. Nothing wrong with you guys. So I told them, I said, we're going to keep testing you. And at one point, they're going to give you bad news. I've seen that through my whole life.
Madam Chair, is there a
So I'll say that much. Hello, yeah.
Ben,
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Council Chair. My name is Ben Blackford III. I'm Sioux Council Representative. I think we met you once, I think, last beginning of the year, I believe, when you came, last time you came. When you actually get to meet, that's the last time I think we've actually heard from you, I think beginning of the year, maybe towards the end of the year out also. But I guess my question and my concerns, I've been getting them for the past maybe 3 or 4 months here, I believe, is our tribal members that are employed up there, they've been getting a lot of scare due to this compact, so the tribe compacting the IHS. So my questions are, there's a lot of them that are getting scared by your employee or your staff saying that, they're going to have to do this, they have to do that, and as far as I know, there's no action on it yet, but to me, just having that scare in the IHS, a lot of our tribal members are looking to go other places, are taking off to different facilities. And a lot of them don't want to go because they're from here. They live here. They grew up here. So anyway, I'm concerned what your staff is saying to them, even some of the ones that are not from here. A lot of them are being treated pretty rudely about it. And that really, again, too, I really support our tribal members, especially the ones that are educated, your nurses, your LPNs, all the ones that are up there that are doing good for our people, are helping our people because they're from here and we'd rather stay here. So like any other entity, BIA, any other entity here, we like to keep our people here so that they can be able to thrive, start a family here, be able to, let their kids know that, it's safe here, that, the reservation area is a good place to grow up in. We have IHS, that's one of our biggest things. There was a controversy, I think, beginning of when we first got in last year about the compact. So that's what we're looking into. I mean, we didn't get too much information on it, but as it is right now, I think it's still at a standstill, I think. I don't know, but I guess that's our business down here as a tribe, as an entity. But up there at IHS, I don't think you guys should start, pulling the trigger yet on that. So I guess their fear of our tribal members, not having a job, they have to provide this or they have to do this before they do that. There's a lot of, I guess, hoops they have to jump through. So I'm just concerned that if a lot of our tribal members are going to other places to get their employment, that I don't think it's right for our IHS to tell them that that's a better choice for you. That's what they're being saying. It's a better choice for you if you just leave. A lot of them don't want to because they have to pick up their families and go to a different area and they got to look for housing, they got to look for school, all that type of stuff. So I would rather see a lot of our tribal members still here no matter what. I mean, all of them, because that's what we're doing too. Our SGU over there is getting classes now to help provide for that. And we're still working out our issues with the other health board, I guess that was put in place there. So, and I think they were supposed to cease and assist, I think.
Ben, if I can interject, I think when elections were held, the outcome was no.
Yep.
So we'll get a legal opinion and bring it forward from our attorney.
Yep.
So that it can be out there that it's a cease and desist.
Yeah, definitely. So that was one of the things I was saying too. So I know we got that. That was a little issue to get going also, to get the people to vote on that also. But in between that time, they were, it was kind of in limbo from what I heard. And then up there at IHS, the staff, their supervisor was telling them that, it's going to happen. They're going to take over. That's what we were getting back. I was getting back from our community members and our tribal members. So these are kind of disturbing kind of things. Like, no, we don't want to move. We have our kids here. So, but now that the tribe has voted on it, but at the same time too, to, I guess, let your staff know that, not to push away or shoo away our tribal members. So those are things that I want to look at, but I do want to see how many people have left already, because I think there's people have left already because of that. Tribal members, but also, members who are, even, were here for a while and stuff, I guess. So, and then I think the other thing too, we'll probably end up getting in, now that we're going to have a health board, our own tribal health board. I think we met 3 times this past month or year here. In fact, we've been trying to get this health board going, and we finally got one going. And we got issue with the at-large members and stuff too. So we finally got them on board. We had 1 meeting so far. That took a while, but I do believe now we are going to continue to have our health board meetings. Now that will probably be brought up anyways, because we do want to honor some of our tribal members who are there, and retired. I think Skylar was supposed to mention that with you, I think. So those are things that I want to be able to bring up, the goods and the bads. so a health board, I look forward to seeing you there at a health board meeting. So that way we can actually, kind of collaborate on that stuff. But those are just my concerns, I guess, as I move forward on this still. But that's the only thing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Charles?
Charles Gray, Ideal Community. One of our biggest questions is contract with our hospitals in winter. A lot of our community people all have like collections debt and stuff from whenever they have an emergency, they can't drop everything and come 64 miles over here or to get a flu shot or, you know, and so they go to winter. And a lot of times they're left with bills that they can't pay and go to collections. So I guess where do they go to dispute those bills with IHS?
A lot of people just bring them directly to me.
Yeah.
My office, I'll leave them with Dave Redis, my admin, or they can go through PRC, but I prefer to do them myself.
Agreement with that?
Okay. Is there any plans on getting a contract with Winter Regional or anything to help?
Well, now that we're permanent, I met with Cherry County. Like I said, I met with Avera, Monument I'll eventually meet with, but yes, we're trying to get some relationships going with the local facilities, because I think that's been missing here, just because there hasn't been full-time staff, so that hasn't been going on, but yes, we already are having those meetings to try to get some kind of relationship going, because some of them would say, hey, well, can you bring providers down here and just run out of our clinic? So we're working on those types of relationships right now.
Okay. That's all I had.
Can you keep us in the loop on that so that the East Reservation will be aware of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Wayne, he stepped up. Chris?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief too. Tak yapi kichta chikala machapi chanti washinapi chizapi. I'm from the Black Belt community, and anyways, I just want to know if you could help me kill a rumor that I've been hearing too. If you can. I've been getting some phone calls even after our tribal election with the it's a non-binding vote, meaning that the tribe still has authority to do whatever they want, even if the people voted on it. Because it was like that, I've been getting phone calls from individuals that used to or currently work for IHS, I can't remember, but they said that they had a meeting with the higher ups of the BAA, or the IHS people, I should say. And they told them that regardless of what the people want, they're still going to move forward with compacting. And so.
No. So I think there was some confusion, and to go back to Ben too, we were asked last year to have some meetings just to talk to the employees about the what ifs. But we made it clear it's not happening. It's not our decision, but it's our decision to support whatever the tribe wants to do, period. Either you all do it, we'll still support. We do it, we'll still support. But no, we don't, that's not up to us. We just have the support. So if somebody's perpetuating that, that's not the case. No. There were some Q&A sessions that we did have, which are very destabilizing, because then people are like, oh my God, this is really happening. But we only did it at the request of health admin to have it. And Dan Davis and Joe and Dale came down and we're just talking to the employees about the what ifs. But we wanted to make it perfectly clear. It's only what if. And whatever you choose to do, we will support either way.
Yeah, people voted on that, so I stick with that part. But and then on another note though, going back to what I was talking about with the behavioral health, out of everything that I've been a part, or everything that I've gone through with IHS, the behavioral health for me was one of the things that really did save myself. And I'm really grateful that we have that an opportunity to have people there to, you know, do that mental health part for our people. And I understand that to everyone out there too, that, you know, mental health, whatever you're going through, I strongly suggest and urge you to go check out the behavioral health at IHS here in Rosebud, because they've done a lot for me, and I know that they've done a lot for some of my family members too. And knowing that you guys have even more staff now makes it a lot easier to have that access to them too, because that is very crucial, and they're very welcoming. You know, I don't know if the guy that helped me out is still there from last year, but if he is, you know, thank you to him too. And I just want to say the behavioral health that you guys have is very good, and I strongly recommend it to anyone out there that's seeking help. So thank you.
Notes and then Lila.
Just a recommendation, this thought came into my mind when Miss Representative Holloway Bear talked about the children having dental and vision and having to go away. Do you guys still work with the student nurses that come from Wisconsin?
Yes.
So at St. Francis Indian School, they do our vision screening for us. They do our hearing for us. When they come in, why can't we do a whole week screening or even 3 days, 2 days, and have them set up clinic in there because they are supervised by their head nurses? And why can't they do that at the hospital to save that trip, that transportation to and from the city? You know, why can't we set it up to have the vision and the hearing done with our young ones there? Is it possible?
Yeah, totally agree with you. I am working on that. And then I forgot to mention, we also got a mobile unit. So now we will be actually able to do more out in the community. We're hiring additional support for the PHN department because we know that some people can't afford to get in here. It's just ridiculous. So we're trying to do more community clinics so that then the students could participate. They're going to be here. Let me look at the date. I don't want to.
Coming up sometime because they're doing something outreach
Yeah.
with us also.
What kind of services are on the mobile unit?
We just got it. So we'll be doing our PHN clinic. We'll probably be doing sports, physicals in the summer, that type of stuff. STD screening.
Vaccination.
Yes, vax. I
Birth
believe
control?
that mammo blitz, I think, is the 4th, but I'll get the date and send it back out. But the students will be here that day.
Okay, so if you would start setting things up like that, because it would only benefit the children. And that's really crucial for them, especially now with the brain development and with the drugs and everything. You know, it doesn't affect our children till later on when their mother uses it. It doesn't affect them till later on in their development. So it's good to catch it early.
Right, I
Okay,
agree.
thank you.
And I just want to shout out, I did meet with Mr. Bordeaux at St. Francis. And we've been having some ongoing conversations. I reached out to the Smile USA to try to get some additional funding for them because it's an amazing asset and program. So we are trying to work on some programs together. But I just wanted to give them a shout out.
Lila.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I forgot to ask you this other question. Okay, we have priority 1, we have priority 2. Do we have to, what does that change, or when does that? Excuse me. A lot of people, and then say someone has something going on with their nose or a broken nose or something. How does this page this, or who makes the decision on priority?
Headquarters and then the area medical director. That would be something to mention at governing body to talk about that, because I do agree. I have my own thoughts and opinions on a facility this size and the mass and limited funds. So I've been trying to look for creative ways to do screening and things. I did give Skyla the information of an indigenous cancer screening program that I work with. They'll come here for free, but she just has to send a letter, like it's a technicality. So I'm trying to look outside the box for those things, but yes, that would be definitely something that area does. They just say, here's your sheet, and then you follow that.
One of the other things I want to ask you for help with collaboration is education. I would like to see, if you walk in there, there should be a little resource library or resource center. While people are waiting, they can pick up pamphlets and read them about our, mental health, the services, whatever it is that we have there. Because you know what? People don't come out and say things, but I've seen and I've known that somebody will say, hey, you know what? I got these pamphlets and you know what? They're good. You could be reading them there. So, we can have them down here, wherever we can get them, because we're not educating. So, people don't know, young people don't know. They're, they get embarrassed, or, even at the schools, work with the schools. We can do that, with health admin and with our tribal employment, and start educating. We're too silent. And that's what gets us in trouble. And I worry about our the unborn.
Yeah.
there may be some with no prenatal care.
Yep.
How alarming that is. Something happens, they're stuck. It's that way forever. And even with, what Royal was talking about, when you, even in the birthing or the first, conception on, we have programs here, we can collaborate with public health nursing, whoever it is, and start asking for the information. Because we gotta find every avenue, every which way we can to reach our people, our young people, family planning, all of that, so it's, we just gotta get moving on it. So if you can add that again to your other list, okay, thank you.
I totally agree with you on, we are too silent. You're right. Even me, I didn't even remember to bring up the behavioral health, and that's amazing. So I totally agree with you. Thank you, Madam Chair, for that as well. We will get working on that. And we have been working on especially the high-risk pregnancies. We still do a lot of deliveries. We just had, I think, 3 this week. While we try to still wait for the birthing center. I almost had an OBGYN hired and he backed out at the last minute, but I'm still working. We've got one posted because I want one here for, like you said, the family planning, that type of stuff.
Council, we have Ben, Emily, and Sherry, and then after that, we'll have to move on. We have Blake here that traveled in, and we will be recessing at noon, so that's fine. So Ben,
Yep.
Emily, and then Sherry.
I just got a quick one too. I know you said you're going out to the mobile, you guys got that going together. The Veteran Affairs program just got theirs also too. So that's what I hope you guys are going to collaborate with them to actually get out to the communities and stuff too, I think. So those are just my concerns. If they can reach out to you guys to actually help go out to the communities and do that, I think, for a lot of the veterans and of course what you guys are going to be offering too. So those are just my questions. The other one too is I think, is I was told from the Pioneers area, they had a walking forward program and they were supposed to be here. I don't know if it's still here or not. That's going to help with, I think, a cancer part of it, I think.
Cancer screening.
Yeah, cancer screening. So those are things I'm wondering if we still have that, because that's another thing that we need to, I guess, look forward to help screen out there too. So that's one thing I wanted to make sure that you had that too. So, but anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Emily and Sherry.
Thank you. I just wanted to quickly say, and I don't want to take any more of our time, we can talk about the details maybe at committee meetings. I just wanted to put out there that with all of the talk about compacting and everything, our healthcare kind of just sat stagnant, if not kind of got a little bit, down here a little bit. And so I just want, because we have a lot of people that watch our meetings, to know that we are still actively working on improving that, and just hearing some of your words are great. But I was wondering specifically on what was talked about the vision and dental. So I'm one of the families that have to take the kids to Rapid City, and we used to go to this new facility, and because after COVID there were so many people coming from not just here but Pine Ridge and all over from the reses, they actually had to build a brand new facility in less than a year. And so, that's amazing. It's in the city, I get it, but at the same time, being able to provide a service for families, being able to provide a service for your children where they're not scared. My kids love it. They want to go there. It's one of their favorite places to go in Rapid City. It's just amazing. The setup of it, the layout of it, it's just amazing. Right. So if our Medicaid or whatever the dollars are for our children can fund that in Rapid City, why are we not looking at funding one of those here? Because if we had one of those, even if it's a clinic, even if it's not at the IHS, if it's wherever it is, I know we have the billable, whatever it is, to pay for whatever operating costs or whatever needs to happen, because we're funding it in Rapid City. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and also maybe we could follow up at one of these other meetings about what that team is going to look like, so that we are still deciding compact contracts, all those bigger things, that we can still be working forward on some of these smaller things like our Title Ones, or transitioning things that we already can identify.
Yeah, we're still hiring a ton of people. We've hired a lot of people, so the foot has not been off the gas. That's all I'll say.
Sherry?
Thank you. How much housekeeping staff do you have?
7 full-time staff right now.
Okay. Do you think that you need more?
Oh yeah, I need 14, but it's been posted.
So do you think that the application process is holding you up?
No, I just don't think we're getting the applications.
Do you think it's because of the process?
Probably.
Because how many people here have access to the internet? How many people here have a computer that they could log into USA.com or USA Jobs? Then they have to do a login.com. to verify that, I mean, it's, then there's all these things that they have to do in order to get even their application set. Then, once their applications go in, correct me if I'm wrong, they go to a computerized system that select people, right? So that computerized system finds keywords and then shoots those applicants out. So if I'm applying for housekeeping and I don't put, specific skill sets down, then I'm going to be weeded out as a potential applicant. I mean, I feel like that's a problem.
It is a problem. It is. I could elaborate on it. I'm working with Heather. We have a designated rep right now. They're hiring another one. But I have helped people. They can come in and use my laptop even to fill out, and we will work with individuals while we find a solution. But I agree with you. Yes, it's a problem.
Okay.
Very complicated.
So, do you plan on doing any sort of like recruitment days where you can just have people in HR set up to help people apply for these jobs?
That's a great suggestion. As far as recruitment, we've only really been doing career days. So that's something I can look at.
Okay, that would be good if you do it a couple times a month, like a recruitment day, and have a laptop there and help walk people through that system, because a lot of times you get somebody like a skilled laborer who wants to apply for a maintenance job. I doubt they're going to have the skills to. I think about my dad. He used to work in maintenance before you guys had all this fancy application process. And I don't think he would have been able to navigate that system because he wasn't very well versed. But could he fix a furnace? Could he fix, a diesel engine? Could he fix your ACs? Yes, he could do all of that. But logging into login.gov and understanding why you have to do all that, and then I do understand too that there's some a breakdown in communication for the background checks, and they take so long.
Yep.
So what is the possible solution for that? Say you get an applicant who applies for a housekeeping position and they've lived in the same place for over 20 years, but their background takes 8 months.
Right.
I mean, people say the tribe's slow, and we are, but I don't think
Oh, we're super slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have reached out to area. They're now headquarters employees, but I meet with area every week. We did get a new background person, and she's flying through.
Okay.
So
that's
it
good.
should improve.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's very complicated.
With the hospital, just having so many sick people there, I just feel like sanitation is so important.
I agree.
And I've been there and seen blood on the floor. I've seen, so much things that could be changed, and shortage of staff is, that's a reasonable excuse, I know it. But I would just like to see that fixed.
I agree, and I apologize.
The first time I got COVID, I think I got it from the hospital.
Yeah.
Because I went in to pick up some medication and I just decided to wait. And while I was there, I didn't realize until afterwards that 3 people that were sitting beside me were waiting to get tested for COVID. And they were positive, and I ended up getting COVID. So those are my concerns. Back in, before you came, we asked Melanie if she could have a specific waiting area for people who potentially have COVID. So I don't know if that's still a thing, if you guys are still doing that, but I really would like to see that. A lot of old people sit there, elders, I shouldn't say old people, I'm sorry. Forgive me for saying old people, elders.
I'm offended.
I'm sorry. Older people and elders, or people with, illnesses already, are in the hospital waiting for medicine. And I really don't want them exposed to COVID with our numbers so high, or anything else.
I agree.
I know influenza B hit the reservation pretty hard, and a lot of people were suffering from the side effects of the influenza B and A.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I think that at this point, we're going to end our session with IHS so that we can get to Blake, and we're going to recess at noon until Monday.
When is she coming back again?
We can have her come back again. She's on our agenda.
Are you gonna be
She's
working-
on our
Are
agenda.
you gonna be working here in Rosebud in a year from now, or are you gonna move on?
Well, I hope so. I mean, unless you guys want.
That's a
Go on
fairground,
here.
that's what I said.
No, it is. It is. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going anywhere. I mean,
We might tell you our problems, but when you disappear, it's gonna start all over.
yeah, I'm not disappearing. Not
Can you come back on Monday?
Monday, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Good to see you.
So
Sorry.
Eric, like, and then how we get going?
If I got a decent membership the other day, the one
I'll give you
the meeting.
Yeah, I don't want to give you.
I have to have you take over.
They're just not good for me.
Thanks, sir.
It's not.
Back on Monday, we're gonna recess.
Hours?
We'll see about Monday.
So what's going on is, Robert is gonna meet them, and so are we, we're gonna meet them at, our.
She cut me off.
Do a prayer, because I think we want to get more.
Eric, you wanna introduce Blake?
And then after that, we're gonna escort them all the way to, and then that's where the people are gonna meet them.
Call to order. Eric, can you introduce Blake so we can?
Good morning, council. This is
Morning.
Blake Folis. I hope I pronounced that right. He works for the firm of Bergen and Peeblesberg, sorry. And they provide the AG services, you know, for the interim while we're doing a recruitment for someone to fill the office. Blake, I'll let you continue the introduction. Sure. And maybe you can give them an update on some of the cases you've been working on.
Absolutely. Have to do that.
Eric, you go off air. It's not
If we're
on.
gonna talk about cases, maybe we should.
You can
Some of
introduce
them are still
yourself, though.
pending. Yeah, some of them
Mike?
are still pending.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Madam Chairman. You know, one of my necessary, you know, when we're talking about personnel issues, that sort of thing. But I think we should really be more frugal when it comes to using. I mean, we claim to serve the people out there, and they need to know. And we talk about transparency, you know. And believe me, we shouldn't be any conversations that we have about any of our issues. Our people already know that they're out there. They have the same conversations, you know. So I think we kind of overdo this privacy thing too sometimes, you know. And maybe it's time we start exposing the problems instead of talking about it in an executive session.
Madam Chair, just real quick, I don't know this time, but just real quick, if we are going to be executive session, I agree with Mike that a lot of us campaigned on the platform of transparency, and we're not doing that. Though sometimes when we go into executive sessions, word gets out on the hallway before sessions are over with. So what's the sense of even going to executive sessions? If we can't keep our mouths shut, the best thing to do is have everybody shut their phones off during the executive sessions, because, you know, people are texting underneath tables while we're talking about secret stuff here. And I don't agree with, just like Mike, you know, I don't agree with keeping secret from our tribal members. They have the right to know, and we ran on a lot of platforms of transparency, and I don't kindly agree with going to executive sessions. And if there's cases that are pending, I agree with Mike. A lot of these people know that already. So what's the sense of keeping it a secret?
It's not,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
not executive, but it's going off the air, but I will leave it with you, council, to make a motion whether or not you want this on the air or you want it off the air. Ben?
Okay, thank you, again, too, I just want to make sure, reiterate that too. I think when I came on last year, it was the same thing too. And I believe it's just due to time constraints, we're just going to introduce the guy to everybody. And then, of course, we have other things that we got to deal with also too. But yeah, I'm always against that. Exactly the same, or off the air. That was reiterated to me the past year of like, there's a difference between going executive session and going off the air. Well, in reality, I don't like to go off the air no matter what, because again, the people voted us in, so we should be able to let them know what's going on. It's going to be out there anyway. So that's just my concern. I would rather stay on air. I think you should know, just like being on a radio station, there's certain things you can and can't say. So I think you should be able to put that out there. So anyway, thank you.
Emily?
Thank you. I also agree that our people should be involved as much as possible. I just wanted to ask the question if there would be any legal ramifications or legal issues that we would need to or legally be required to for public.
He knows.
No, that's why I'm asking him if there would be anything that you would let us know so that we can.
If not, I would like to interject because of time sensitivity. If there is nothing that is going to legally put us in jeopardy, I will keep us on the air and out of executive session.
I can afford the discretion, and if there's something that I don't feel comfortable saying on air, I will be happy to identify that.
You can always use fictitious names.
Fortunately, I can't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you all having me here today. President Woodknife, congratulations on your election. And the rest of you as well. I'm glad that you had a successful election season. I hope that we were a small part of that. So to give you all an update, I think would be the easiest and most coherent thing to do. Since we've come on board with you all, the issues that have been provided to us, to us have been really in the form of dealing with employment grievances. There's a couple of those that we've dealt with and resolved. One, we have one still pending. We're waiting information to be provided to us to where we can advise successfully on that. We have resolved, at least at this time, an election dispute over the constitutionality of who was eligible to run for office of president. There is a matter that is still pending on that, but I believe it will be resolved as moot in the near time. We have advised on a data breach issue that had come up sometime before we were brought on board. It's already in the settlement phase. There's not much that we can really do with that except allow that to continue, as well as your opioid litigation is ongoing. We weren't involved with that from the beginning. The current counsel, which is with Robbins Kaplan, which is a different law firm, who has been nationwide representing tribes all over the country. They're the ones who are advising on that. We have no objections to that at all. And I think that they'll provide some sort of resolution at some point. It's opioid litigation. There's tons of appeals. It's nationwide. It's what we call a multi-district litigation, MDL. So it will be continuous, ongoing for years to come. But when they finally have resolutions, you'll receive payments. I would add that we have had a recent ICLA matter come up in California. If you would like us to proceed in that, we'll need a council resolution to enter appearance on behalf of, I believe it's 2 individuals who are children in Sacramento, California. And we can work with Eric on getting that resolved, but we will likely need your blessing through a resolution to make appearance on their behalf. I understand that there is a bureau matter that may be of interest with law enforcement cost support. We had sent an email to Lloyd Guy back when he was the Attorney General for the tribe in August of 22. I believe it was about a 50-question document that required some information to be provided back to us. At that time, when we were initially looking at it, we did proceed in representation of Ogallala in their litigation against the Department of Justice, and that's for contract support costs and law enforcement support costs. So there's a lot of things that go on with that particular issue. probably won't get it resolved today. I can work with council and with Eric on getting that going forward if it's something that this council is interested in going after. I think at the present time, it may be more beneficial if there is an issue that comes up with Ogallala. For instance, if there's a summary judgment motion, which is a judgment to end the case altogether, that Rosebud can submit an amicus brief in support of Ogallala's position that allows that case to continue on, because Ogallala at this point would be setting the precedent for Rosebud to come right behind and receive the benefit of that prior litigation, if all of the factors that are there are available to Rosebud. So I think the other matters that we've helped with are assisting with guidance and opinions on individual burials. I believe that was resolved successfully in favor of the individual family that had issue. And we've also provided some interpretation on other matters dealing with land opinions and previous ordinances on whether or not they were proper under the Constitution. So with that, I'm happy to open the floor. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I guess for me, I know when we first brought you on, I think last year, it was kind of interesting. I think you had your firm come in for the AG's office, but there was really nobody in there, and we had to kind of disperse a lot of those responsibilities from the Attorney General's office, I think. But I guess for me, these kind of I guess surprising cases that you're representing stuff. I was wondering if you could probably get with the chairwoman there and chairwoman to, because I didn't know what you are working on. We don't know. I mean, that was one thing too. We hired you. I helped you do that, but I don't know what you're doing. This is the first time we actually heard a report from you. So I would like to at least get something that, I mean, again, you don't have to be, put all these names on here. It's just what you guys are working on, because again, some of this stuff looks like it's all internal. Yeah, it's all internal type stuff, which I didn't, I was, the Attorney General was a part of that part. But anyway, so if I could do that, request that from you, if you can get that to the Madam Chairman and disperse it amongst us, so we can at least have an understanding of what you're working on, what's going on with this. Because again, like other committees, BIA, IHS, we're asking them to send a report, and then so we can look at it and do that type of thing. So I wonder, I know it's kind of discreet, but again, it's more like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. So all the things that are going, that you are representing, I wasn't aware of that. As a council representative, I'm not aware. Of course, that's where a lot of people say, I'll give it to somebody and then give it out to everybody else. But no, I think us as council representatives should know, at least have an understanding and have that integrity to say, yeah, this is what he's working on. That's fine, because you're here. But those are just my concerns, I guess, from now forward. But thank you for coming. And that, I guess, introducing to everybody else, new council reps, that's kind of what we wanted to do too. So, but anyway, thank you, Madam Chairman. So once you get that, I would like to probably see that to email to us or something like that. So thank you.
Emily?
Oh gosh, sorry. Thank you. I was also going to ask if we could get like a monthly update or something, so I'm glad you addressed that. But I was just asking, it might not even be for you, it might be for President, but do we have an update on the hiring of an assistant AG? I know last time we met, or the last few times we met, we talked about having this be more of like the legal type, but that we would still need somebody in the office to help with like the day-to-day running the office. I know we got applications. I've had an applicant reach out saying I hadn't heard anything in over 3 months after they expressed interest. So I was just wondering if we could get an update on that.
We'll get that together for our continued meeting on Monday, after we recess and we reconvene on Monday. Oh, update on those jobs. Chris and then Sherry.
You go first.
Sure.
Thank you for coming today. I guess my question is more so for the council, since we have our acting Attorney General company here, and we know what they've been working on. Maybe we should, as a body, have a specific discussion in the near future about specific projects that we think are important that we should assign. So that way we have some clear direction moving forward. And I know as a council, we should really discuss like our goals and legislatively our goals and what laws that, need to be updated. And that those are things that we could ask this entity to work on for us. So I just wanted to make that comment so we could keep that in mind and maybe plan a special meeting for it. Yeah.
no lip service, actually do it.
Yes.
Chris?
Yeah, good noon, good afternoon. Anyways, thank you for being here. I was wondering if you could just like, again, kill some rumors for me from stuff that I've been seeing, hearing and whatnot. So as a representative of a firm that represents the tribe, I was under the impression, maybe some of my colleagues here can help me out too. I was under the impression that you have to pass a certain tribal, bar exam to represent the tribe. Is that true?
I believe you're talking about SOBA certification.
Yeah. And I heard that, there's rumors that it took you a few times to pass it.
No.
No, you passed it?
It's not true. No, we were actually, the council, my partners for the firm, because of the contract that we have with the tribe, have been admitted to SOBA. And we were able to do so on a basis of a waiver because we've all practiced.
Oh, so you didn't have to then, huh?
No, we didn't have to take the exam.
Okay, cool. So,
I've taken other exams.
no, that's fine. I'm just worried about my tribe and how we run the tribe here, not anywhere else. Another thing too is, I got to witness, how do I say this in a nice way? I got to witness, you represent a tribe or our tribal programs in some manners, and, I'm not saying that you didn't do a good job or anything like that, but it was just how you composed yourself to our tribal members. I don't know if maybe that's your tactic to, as a lawyer, to, get in the heads of other people, or maybe if it's just how you are as a person. But over here, we try our best. I know we struggle with it too, and I know it's hard, but we try our best to live by these virtues here, these Lakota virtues. And one of the main ones that's really hard to hold is this one, Wamusala, compassion. Regardless of who we are, what we do, whatever it is that we're going up against, we always try our hardest to live by those, especially that Wamusala. And so I was, just from witnessing it, just not no rumors, nothing, but from witnessing it, I've seen that Wamusala, that compassion, is not really there. And so I'm going forward, when you're you're representing the tribe, you're representing our people, our nation. I want you to have these in the back of your mind. I want you to know that you have to carry yourself in a certain way that, it can be respectful, because sure, you probably are really good at your job, but your actions say something else. Your body language says something else. And so, people are paying attention. And I know that if you are to represent us on a much higher level on things that we do need help with, everyone else will see that too. And I don't want anyone to misrepresent us in any kind of way, form, or fashion, but just how they present themselves, So just things to think about.
Appreciate that.
Lila?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for coming today. I'm really glad that you're here updating us on all the stuff you're working on. It's important that this body is aware of all of that. But one of the things that, I'm really passionate about right now is watching what happens in Oglala with that lawsuit. So if that goes through and they win that, did they win that lawsuit yet?
We're still pending.
Okay, because we need to jump on it. They win that, I'm pretty sure they will. We need to be right on the shirt tail of that, because the atrocities here with the inadequate funding of law enforcement, it's horrendous. And I've been watching that, I've been, I'm reading about it. And I know that at one time, I guess they asked us to join it, but I don't know why we didn't. There was something that happened. But so if that does go through, most likely all the other tribes will be able to join in on that, right?
It's potential. It's a probable deal. In why I say that is it's based off of the contracts that the tribe has with the federal government that allow for these claims to be made. So it's without much issue at all that the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Indian Affairs has a duty to protect the tribe. and the people of the tribe. And while that is a standing duty and that there is a treaty right to that, it doesn't always provide a basis to make your claim. So, and that's what the federal courts have struggled with, is although it may be included in the treaty, and it may be an inherent right to the tribe, it's not exactly something that you can bring as a standalone claim. They rely on a statute or a contract that they have to breach in order to bring a claim. And so those are things that we try to, go through the tribal records and look through to verify that there's a claim that we can make so that we can bring that and hold government accountable on those.
Because I think too, okay, in 2015, we did a proclamation against men, an emergency proclamation fighting men. That you were fighting that as well. The statistics of the deaths, the rapes, the violence, all of that. And, it's been tough for tribes, and especially with ours, because we don't have enough officers, and what goes with that. But I'd really like that to be one of your priorities, one of council's priorities, to do what we can in administration, all of us together, to push this lawsuit and do something. And that's where we're right now, we got our hands tied behind our back, because there's really not much we can do. They don't want to change nothing. When we start talking treaty, boy, they sure just don't want to hear it, and that. But our treaties, they still exist, and it has power. And I want to tell you that because we have our experts here. We stand on that treaty. And with wholeheartedly, that's the only way we're going to get through things. So, you could probably and should probably visit, Royal, Bob, people here, talk with our treaty people, our treaty office. They'd be more than willing to give you the information you need. So I just wanted to encourage you with that, whatever it is we need to help you with, we can do that for you.
If we can find the substance for a claim, then we'll advise accordingly.
Okay. So meanwhile, I'll just keep paying attention. Thank you.
Council, before I give it to Michelle, I just want to let you know that I'm turning the meeting over to Lisa to finish. I made a prior commitment to our Todd County School District students to be their Grand Marshal today. And so I'm going to go and Lisa will finish the meeting. Thank you.
Michelle, you're up. Hi, Blake. Thanks for coming back to see us again. I'm just wondering, have you been working with communities, or is it just basically lost?
I've had one opportunity to work with Natural Resources Committee, and that's been thus far the only committee work that I've had.
Currently, I sit on the personnel committee, and we're going to need some assistance going on in the manual, looking at making some updates and changes, and wondering if you're available to take a look at that.
If the committee makes a motion to ask him to do like a legal review or to make sure it's all in compliance, then he can.
That'll be cheaper too if we do give him a draft. Yeah, it's making sure you're available.
It will be.
Less time.
Absolutely.
Less available minutes.
Thank you.
Mike.
I call you Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair. One of the reasons I ran for re-election is if I was lucky enough to get re-elected, and I appreciate the fact that I did, is my concern for the lack of the breakdown of law and order in our communities, primarily because of the drug problem met. I realize it's a momentous problem. It's not going to be easy to solve, but I believe it should be our number one priority down here. It's our responsibility to protect our people. And right now, I don't believe we're doing that. We have a lot of issues on the table. I realize that. It's always been the job here, you know, but sometimes you gotta put first things first. And the drug thing is it's gonna result in the moral death of our people. This is worse than alcohol was in its heyday. We don't do something, I don't know. I shouldn't have to get up and make a statement like this. We all know what's going on. But, and if we don't deal with it, it's gonna get worse and it's gonna be harder to deal with. You know, people are gonna start to die. Not from just overdose and misusing drugs. They're gonna start to die because of the collateral damage that the drug culture brings. And I believe it's already started. And it's gonna get worse. And it's gonna take some courage to talk about it. Because you could be endangering your own personal welfare, your own personal being. And it ain't because I'm not standing here and talking because I watch too much television. Believe me. You see what's going on in other communities around the country, you know, and what it's escalated to, the inner cities and whatnot. It's gonna happen here if we don't do something. And I realize there ain't a hell of a lot we can do, you know, but there are some tools. We don't know what they are. One of the ones that was talked about several years ago when the meth thing was, you know, we were confronted with it, the advent of it was banishment. You know, that's one thing we have the power to deal with, you know, and that's a difficult thing to, it's an awesome power, you know, and to have to consider to use it against one of your own, you know, it's a difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to ponder. So, but anyway, I would hope that we are going to spend several all-day sessions talking about what we can do to make things better out there. I don't believe it's just a matter of police officers, a shortage of police officers. We've got more police officers than we've ever had before that are out there. You know, it's a fear in the communities. You know, we all know what's going on. You know, we all live right. A lot of us live right next door to it. You know, and yet we feel powerless to do anything about it. And we're going to have to start reaching out to each other. You know, to deal with the problem. And again, it's not going to be easy, but I really hope that we give it the due that it is due. And again, I can't help stress strongly enough that should be our number one priority. We just got done talking about health. You know, this is death. You know, this is too late. This is death. So let's get with it.
Maybe. Chris and Sherry.
Okay, I guess some other stuff too would be, so you guys work remote, correct? Like,
Sorry, what?
you guys work remote, right?
Remotely?
Remotely?
Oh, remotely.
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part?
Unless we're here for
Like,
something.
how long does it, like, if someone were to call upon you from, like, a program were to ask for the Attorney General's help, how long would it take for you to get here?
Can hop on a flight, and it's about a 6-hour flight, and then 2-hour drive from Rapid City, 2.5-hour drive from Rapid
It's
City.
about a day?
Yeah, roughly. I can get into Pier and then get down a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Depends on
And
the
then,
flight
with that being said too, though, like, how well do you understand our tribal judiciary branch system that we have going on here?
I believe we've got a pretty good education here in the last couple months.
Yeah, understanding all our contracts and then all our laws too that we have going on.
Yeah.
The programs and whatnot.
Sure.
Okay. I guess my real question to you is, not
And,
to,
and
not
we're
necessarily.
continuously learning as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. That's good. That's real good. I guess my question probably wouldn't necessarily be for you, but for the firm itself is to the idea or possibility of maybe taking like work, come in every other month, a month here, then a month back at home, then a month here again, or something like that, so that we have that availability on hand versus having to wait a day after the fact when something happens. Because I know a lot of our people would like that interface person, but I understand that the contract that we made also states it too.
Sure. I mean, we can be here on site as much as we possibly can. It's just, we also try to keep your costs down as well.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
It costs to travel, and the cost is borne by the tribe. And so we try to be cognizant of that and keep the expectations met, but also keep it, I don't want to overburden you with price on just travel or having to do something if I can do it from my office, or I have another partner who can do it from their office immediately in response to whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
We enjoy being on the res and interacting and coming before you all, but we also understand that there is cost attached to it, and it doesn't matter if it's somebody in-house or somebody outside. There's always going to be a cost attached at some point.
Thank you. Just a few things that I want to talk about, a few different topics. So sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. When I first got on council, the AG term was a 3-year term. And I know this is just temporary for us right now until we could find an AG, because nobody's applying, because I think our salary that we offer, nobody wants that. So that's one thing we need to consider as a council. I know we have 3 lobbyist firms that we pay. Maybe we should, we talked about taking Van Norman's contract away. Maybe we take Van Norman's contract and reallocate that funding to more, to beef up the AG office. As legislators, I'm just trying to think about, share with you my ideas and thoughts on things that we could do to move forward. We also need to address the fact that ICWA is under the Attorney General's office by ordinance. So right now, we need to have a temporary solution for that, since you're not here to supervise an employee or a whole program. So we need to address that. Also, I want to hit on a few things that my colleague, Councilman Bolt, said. Is, he talked about meth, and I do believe that that's something that we do need to deal with. But when you talk about solving a problem as huge as that, it's not just one thing. It's not just treatment. There has to be wraparound services. There has to be a path to healing. There has to be identifiers for prevention, or identifiers not just for prevention, but what's causing this? What kind of mental health problems? How can we get out and prevent it? If we don't prevent it, what's the path? What's happening right now is we get people, if we get them into treatment, it used to be that they were voluntary committals. The council just recently, a few months ago, changed the mental health code. So now there's involuntary committals. So that's one step in the right direction. We have our detox center, and that's changing, because before that was also voluntary only. Some of the things that the past council did was they created and established a mandatory minimum. However, some issues that we're having, maybe you could help us with that. So what ends up happening is the officers come and they make the arrest. I've been told 2 things. I sat on Judiciary Committee for 3 years. I was told our laws are weak. So then we go and talk about strengthening them at committee, and then the officers say our laws are just fine. And it's the judges. The judges, they're letting them go. They're not adhering to the mandatory minimum. So maybe that's something that you could help us with, because the intent was, if somebody is arrested with suspicion of meth, that they could be, because it's so adamant here, that they could be tested. If they test positive, they set a mandatory minimum of 4 days. So that way they're not harming anybody, they're not harming themselves, and, but I guess it's not working. So I would like us to be able to work on that. And just one last thought, just to put this in your guys' head as well, is when somebody goes off to treatment and then they come back, where do they go? To the same environment that they left. So that's why our people aren't healing from this meth epidemic. So when we talk about this, we have to think of it from a whole approach from all sides, not just dealing with the addiction itself. The prevention, the care, and the path to healing, which means sober living, housing, and jobs. Those need to be available for people who are trying to change their life. And those are things that I feel that we as a council could fund. We can't fix them. We can't initiate those programs. The president and whoever we hire to do that can do those things. But as far as legislation, we could appropriate the funds for that if those are things that are important to us. So we should really start sitting back and thinking about that. And maybe, Madam Chair, we can add that to the agenda when we have that special meeting and talk about our goals as a council. Thank you.
To quickly, if you don't mind, Wayne, to both of you, I appreciate you bringing this up as far as an issue that affects communities. And my tribal community has been affected by it. My family's been affected by it specifically. One of the things that, separates a lot of us who aren't implicated in this particular issue with whatever the narcotic or drug epidemic is at the time is education and the focus on education, making sure kids from a very young age understand the importance of education and how it can be a vehicle to success later on in life. And, for those of us who can take advantage of that, it pays great dividends. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. I'm an attorney, the first in my tribe to do so. And I understand the sacrifices it makes to do it, but I also understand what the alternatives are. And if you take the path of not going and finishing an education or not going to school on a daily basis, being absent on a regular basis, it impacts your learning because you get behind and then you get, almost depressed about it. And it can be a hindrance on you. But if you have that support from your community that ensures that your children go to school on a daily basis and that they're attending, and even if they're not making the best grades, if you can work within those communities and help those children say, okay, well, maybe math just isn't your thing. Math isn't anything for lawyers. We're not great mathematicians. That's why we became lawyers. It comes down to there's alternative career paths that you can help them look at. Right. We're great at cost, but we don't do math. But, it comes down to, finding the path for people to walk, and it's not the same for everybody, but it's important to at least start and continue in having that support. As far as treatment goes, you're 100% right. You put them back in the same environment, they're more likely for recidivism, and they're going to fall back into that same deal. And sometimes there's just tough calls that you have to make in order to say, hey, we can't have you here. It's not banishment. Maybe it's relocation. Maybe it's something that we can do to help benefit the family until the time comes again that you can welcome them back. So, thank you for that.
Okay, Wayne?
No, sorry, he answered the question.
Okay, we were gonna try to wrap it up by noon, so I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Are we off the air now, or?
No, it's on air. It's just
They're
on
waiting
this
for you.
monitor.
The power glitched and that went
Oh,
off.
all right.
They're on
Look
the air.
behind you, it's on the air.
All right, okay.
They got everything.
Thank you, Blake. And I think if we have any concerns or some actions from committee, then you'll get notification.
Okay, thank you.
One more question. I want to address something that Chris brought up, and I think he was kind of getting to it. And I know that we don't want to be racking up a bill, and maybe we need to develop a process if a program does need help, because I know at Judiciary Committee, several of our programs there that report did say that they used to rely heavily on Mr. Lloyd Guy, and they did. He really helped them a lot. And I don't know if we could set up a number of like Zoom calls or, schedule things if our programs need help. Is that something we can work on?
It falls within the AG ordinance.
Okay,
And, as to, I think council kind of gives some direction on where to, I don't know if you remember, Mr. Guy had council give, direction on what he can.
can and can't do.
Who he can accept as clients, so.
And that's why I was saying that something that the council can
Yeah.
schedule, because I wouldn't want us racking up a bill with everybody,
and I
all
think within
programs
the ordinance it
bombarding.
says by resolution, not by motion, so.
Yeah,
It's something like if, Michelle was talking about the personnel manual, you know, it could be recommended by committee and then we can give direction for,
'Cause-
late to go from there.
okay, because the AG ordinance does also say that the Attorney General helps tribal members too. So that's another issue we need to think about
Yeah,
and keep
like,
active.
she takes into consideration whether there's a conflict with that or not, so.
Okay,
It's go by case basis.
And I will also add to your point about DC and having that impact. Part of our firm is we do legislative affairs within Washington DC. So we have that office that's available to the tribe to effectuate whatever goals that you want to have done in DC or positions taken.
I just wanted to encourage council, have they gotten their manuals, Lisa?
The ordinance books,
The ordinance book, yeah, so that's, the ordinance for the judiciary, also the AG, it's all in there. A lot of these questions can be answered on where we're at right now with going to a judiciary meeting, as well as talking with Eric or previous council, and then also where we are at with the AG and what they're representing us.
maybe we could, the actual agreement that we do have with Blake, we can probably send it out to our new.
Email that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And to also note, we had a firm change at the end of June. So on the contract, it'll read Peoples Kidder, Bergen and Robinson, and now we're Peoples, Bergen, Schulte and Robinson. So we had some name changes. Otherwise, it's still the same.
Promotions, huh?
No, not quite.
Well, thank you for coming, Blake.
Thank you all very much.
So we're not gonna do the at-large today then? Or?
We're gonna go ahead and recess until Monday at 10. And, budget and finance will be tomorrow, will be established.
I didn't realize we was gonna go on to Monday, so Monday, we're trying, it's on the schedule, so I'm not gonna be here.
Okay.
Good to see you.
And then what, does Monday work or would Tuesday work for everybody?
I need the floor too before you call it.
Yeah, but I just wanted
We don't have a commission chosen anyways, or committees chosen.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. With Monday? Yeah, because she wants to do committee selections on Monday. Then budget and finance will go ahead and meet tomorrow and get established and.
Because those are all picked, right? They're all elected.
Thank you. Safe travels. Michelle, why don't you go ahead and make your motion?
Some of it, slide it down, I was gonna.
There's a tribal leadership and management that's taking place on October 2nd and 3rd. It's at Palms Casino, I think. Tribal leadership and management.
Did you email us the information?
Yeah, but I'm making the motion for travel now.
Okay.
So, third.
Seconded by Sherry and questioned by Wayne.
Can Nicole read back that motion?
Shall we have a motion for travel for the tribal leadership and management training at Las Vegas on
October 2nd and 3rd.
How many people are going?
Whoever wants.
You got to put in for it.
One thing I'd like to see, Madam Chair, is that when these people come back here from the travel, I want them to be able to give the report on air to our people, because our people need to know why these people travel using their money, what they're bringing back. So
we usually give a written travel report. I've submitted those before too, but if you guys want to consider, where we would put that on our agenda, do you want to put it maybe under the treasurer's report or put it under the chair report?
Yeah, anywhere, as long as they give the report.
Where would you like that specifically to be under?
Yeah, as long as they give the report to the people.
I would like to remind you, the best training ground is out in your community, in your brain.
So, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Any questions?
There's also NCAI. I don't know if anybody wants to go.
Opposed?
Opposed? Opposed? 0, not voting, 3.
There's NCAI that's coming up too on October 27th through November 1st. I don't know if anybody plans to go. but
Where's it at?
It's in Las Vegas.
What's the name?
NCAI.
Is it the same?
It's October 27th to November 1st.
I'll second. Seconded by Sherry, seconded by Charles, all in favor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Opposed? 1, 2, 3. Not voting? 2.
Madam Chair, I have one more motion that I wanted to make. I want to make a motion to advertise for the Legislative Affairs Director, TechRo Director, and LEAP Director. Oh, did you guys already do that?
At the last meeting, Ray made a motion to advertise for legislative affairs
And TechRo?
and tech. I thought there's 3 of them.
Okay, so just the LEAP Director then.
I don't know, you might have to check, but I was pretty sure Ray brought that up.
It was in the minutes. They were, I think the 30 days hasn't even expired yet.
Okay.
I see Legislative Affairs is running.
Okay, well, I'll amend my motion for just the LEAP Director.
For how long?
How long do we usually run them?
I think a week. It's the minimum, isn't it?
10 days.
10 days at minimum.
Okay. Shall we do, 2? I already made that motion.
They were gonna work on the job description for that one, I think.
It's already in the contract.
Yeah, the contract has had to be amended because the current contract had chief administrator, or whatever it was, it needed to be amended back to
The contract has both chief administrator and chief of police. What the council needs to do once we select a chief of police is we just need to reallocate the funding for the chief administrator back into the chief of police at job description. So we're good there. And I already made that motion in June or May to advertise for the chief of police.
Sure. Oh, sorry.
So that's,
How long would you like that advertisement to run?
should we say 3 weeks?
I just wanted to ask if we could check on that, because for some reason I thought we just changed the name, or did we advertise it too? I thought we changed it and then we had to do something and then we were gonna advertise it. So I just wanted to make sure that was in here.
Motion and we'll go back into that discussion. Is there a second? Second by Michelle.
Question.
I have a question.
When Mike,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, it'd be nice for us new guys if we could get some background on motions like this. You know, why is this happening? You know, what's it all about?
For the chief of police or for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
LEAP director?
Because the first thing that comes to mind are these vacant positions, you know. You see my point? My point is,
Yeah.
let us know, you know,
Sure.
why you're asking us to vote on this.
Okay, I could give some background. So,
but can we, do you mind if we finish this motion that she has on the floor first, then she can give you the background of the chief of police?
What's the motion on the floor? For the
The motion is to advertise for the LEAP.
Well, yeah, why? Why are we advertising?
Because the athletic director is the new chief of staff for our president.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, that would have been helpful.
I'm sorry, I thought you knew that. And I apologize. I know we have been working for the tribe and some of you are new, so yes, the LEAP director is now the chief of staff for the president. So that means that position would be open and it's vacant. So that's why the motion for that.
Okay, do we have any more discussion, questions? We need a question for it. Questions by Emily, all in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
And
Opposed? 0.
Not voting?
Not voting because I heard the explanation for one.
but I didn't do the other one yet, but okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Sherry's still
I'll motion just to be safe, I'll motion to advertise for the chief of police position
30 days.
for 30 days.
Background.
And just so the council knows, back when the chief administrator resigned, the council came back and made a motion and had discussion that we didn't want a chief administrator anymore. We wanted a chief of
A certified officer.
a certified officer, yes. So that's why we're making the contract change.
In the master contract.
Yep. And the position still exists in the contract, it just needs to be funded.
Is there a second for Sherry's motion by Lila and question by Ben? All in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Opposed?
0.
Not voting?
0.
Did you?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Charlie, Wade, and Emily.
Motion for travel to the Pace Law Sacred Sites meeting on September 23rd. Same Rapid City, but they haven't found a location yet.
September 23rd?
September 23rd.
Second by Sherry.
16?
I just have a question. Could I ask the secretary's office to email all of the information about the travel that's being passed today? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Is there a question? Question by Wayne, all in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16.
16 opposed?
0.
Not voting?
1.
Mary stretching? Okay, Wayne.
Yeah. Since it was brought up to advertise one of the directors, yesterday, did the council make a motion to approve the president's cabinet?
She's working on that, actually. With my resolutions, she would probably have it done, the council meeting next month.
She wants to do it by resolution?
That's how we do it constitutionally. The president, vice president's office present their staff the resolution.
Their list, and then it's motion to approve. But instead, we're gonna do it by resolution?
It's always been by resolution.
See, they're drawing it.
Sometimes they're not specifically named, just the positions are named.
Yes.
Have we set a date for some of the current director positions that have been open? Have we set dates for any of those? Like, one of my community members last night was asking about the general operations, that it's open until filled. I checked with Jennifer this morning and she said there's 10 applicants. Can we set a date for interviews?
We'll have to close the advertisement.
Okay.
And then set a date for interviews.
Okay, I'll make that motion to close the general ops director position and to ask the chairwoman to set interview dates.
Are you closing immediately or?
By end of today.
By 5 o'clock today?
Yeah, 5 o'clock today. Thank you, Emily.
Close at 5 o'clock today?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Second? Seconded by Totes, question by Bill, all in favor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16, oh, I'm sorry, Wayne, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Opposed?
0.
Not voting?
1.
16-0-1.
Before they adjourn, ask them to do something.
Okay.
Council, before you adjourn, our ambulance program, every year we're running. Yeah,
That's why I have my hand.
and right now that they don't have money for payroll, so I want to ask if council will allow health admin to transfer $125,000 from her money to the ambulance, so they have money for the rest of the fiscal year. There's a resolution here.
Usually happens.
Somebody for budget and finance read in the resolution?
Happens every year.
Yeah, they brought a bunch of blank papers. Oh my God, that's so silly.
They have a shortfall at the end of every year all the time, so.
This happens every year, and in the past, hit miss, sometimes, I just helped us out. But for some reason right now, our request has been in DC for the last 2 months, and no answer. So, This needs to happen or they won't get paid next time.
Madam Chair, I'd move.
It has to go by resolution because of the budget mod amount.
She has the resolution, she's gonna take the copy.
Yeah, she's gonna make copies for it, so they gave her a bunch of blank.
I know, there's no stack of like paper.
Yeah, there's been a request for that, but I don't know if it'll be down here by the end of the fiscal year, so.
Yeah, Dan Davis just called last night and said that he's not sure why they're not acting on it, but there's been no action in Washington.
I will Sherry.
So, the health admin has this funding readily available and it's in excess of what?
Within their, master contract, and so they just kind of pull, I know one year they had pull from CHR and different programs within that master contract, so. She does have the money available, that may affect some other employees within there, but they do get funded by third-party billing also, but that hasn't really run in enough to sustain ambulance.
So yesterday, they were wanting us to pass a resolution by emergency for like 40-some thousand dollars for a Can-Am. And then today, we're gonna have to fund them. And so you said it may affect some employees. Does that mean some employees might lose their jobs at health admin? So we're riffing employees by doing this today?
No,
No.
no, not by this, this is gonna.
Prevent that money.
In the master contract, we have a ability to move monies around wherever we want. So
Okay.
some programs have savings, some don't. Savings out of some of the programs and transfer them over to ambulance service.
Okay. So no one's getting riffed.
No one gets over.
Light up.
Okay.
All the rest of the programs have a spending money to operate the fiscal year. It's just that, sometimes these programs get upset because they don't have carryover monies to do big jobs next year.
Okay.
And that purchase of that Can-Am was money donated specifically so they had the UTV to get to patients.
It said third-party billing.
Lisa, or Madam Chair?
Yes,
It said third-party billing.
Yes.
I got it on this.
Yeah, but I wanted to reiterate that was that was they won our donation. So we passed $2,000 to help them. So
That was for that defibrillator.
Oh, the defibrillator.
Yeah, this one was for that
And
Can-Am, some type of vehicles.
Yeah, stretcher,
Yeah.
yeah, but we didn't touch that.
We tabled it.
We tabled it.
That came out of the general account, and the
Yeah.
general account was in the red.
So
I
we
thought you said
tabled it.
striker.
Yeah, it's a striker.
And,
And, I also wanted to, you know, this happens every year, we know, with the ambulance service. And, you know, it's always bothersome because we have to look for the money and, you know, help the ambulance service, which is okay. But, we probably in budget and finance will have to maybe look at options, you know, preventative options or how we can do things. You know, the ambulance service is really, they're pitiful, you know, in that sense, where at the end, you know, they have to look for money or ask for money, you know. So, you know, I always feel real bad about that because they go nonstop, you know. So I think somewhere in there, this body has to look at that as well, of how we're gonna look at funding to help them out and where that would come from. But I just wanted to say that here, that also in personnel, when we were, you're talking about the advertising and of positions and how long, that should be based on HR and how long it says in the policy. You know, I think, you know, because we usually, like for a chief of police and for Mike, for you guys, we did ask for help from the Bureau of Indian Affairs to bring in a temporary lieutenant, chief of police during that time, and nothing ever happened yet. So there's a meeting that's gonna happen here, I believe soon, with Ray
OJS.
OJS.
It's not VI.
Oh, yeah, OJS, and we're gonna talk about that, of, what happened. So things kind of got stalled from June, July, we didn't get to finish a lot. But this body did ask for help from, OJS to bring in a chief of police. And then we made the change, and Sherry made the motion, and we changed it in the contract. So now won't be an administrator, there'll be a certified police officer, chief of police. So we made that change. So I just wanted to inform you guys on what happened there. Thank you.
Okay. Emily, you ready? Sure. Motion for emergency.
Motion for emergency legislation.
238. Seconded by Ben, seconded by Sherry, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
What's the number?
238.
Motion to approve
Hold on a
resolution.
second.
Oh, sorry.
What did you say that count was? 15 opposed, 0. Not voting? 15, 0, 2.
Motion to approve 2024-238.
Second. Second by Sherry.
Madam Chairman. Can someone explain why this was not known? And has to be done kind of at the last minute thing. And I guess, I mean, certainly people, this is all shortfall in payroll. You know, somebody should have noticed, been aware of that a month ago.
We can explain to you, it's been an issue a
So
couple
why-
months ago.
So why didn't, you know, we're circumventing the process here?
The shortfall was coming up a couple months ago.
This resolution should be coming to the council through the budget finance committee.
Yeah, there is a request in to IHS, and they agreed to assist us. So we weren't worried about getting the money because we thought the money was coming. Dan Davis called last night and said that's not coming. You know, when it's coming. It's not enough payroll to meet next payroll. So what we're doing now is taking money from the master contracts, transfer it to the ambulance service in payroll. If by chance the money hits your account, it reimburses. But right now, we need money in there to see payroll.
We don't know why they were on hold in DC.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Hold on, let me finish. Okay, Emily, so we need a question.
I just wanted to make sure, was 238 the right number?
It would be like 240.
Okay, we'll read it in.
Okay. I'll start with third or fourth whereas. Whereas the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Health Administration will transfer $125,000 of funds from 0514.001 to the Rosebud Ambulance Services 0514.005 funding account, and therefore be it resolved, the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council adopts and accepts this transfer of funding, and be it further resolved, the president of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe is authorized and directed to sign and execute the acceptance of the funds transfer.
Your question?
No,
Question by Lila, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Opposed? 0. Okay. What? 1601. Madam Chair?
I just wanted to, let the new councilmen, reps who haven't been on council before, I just want to let them know that, the legislative process is, you make a motion and then a second. And if it doesn't get a second within, is it 15 seconds? The motion dies, but you have to have that second before you can start asking questions. So I just want to remind everybody that we've started jumping the gun today a little, and I'm guilty of it too. I started asking way questions before we had the motion on the floor. So I just wanted to remind everybody and let the new council members know that that's how it goes. The motion, the second, and then.
I thought I made the motion. I thought I raised my hand after the second, you know.
Yeah, I did it too. And I was just Yeah, I'm guilty too. Thank you.
And can we go recess until Monday at 10?
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, we're gonna recess until Monday at 10.
Have one more question.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everyone.